dependently cooperative. One has an optional co-op.
Yeah.
Um, you you create the clues in just one, which you create the clues for Codenames too.
Yeah, no, it's weird that they're a lot similar, but I think one is a lot simpler and easier to get to the table than the other.
I Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think you're a little bit right that just one has less of a learning curve than Codenames. Now, I think Codenames is very easy to get to the table, but if we had to compare the two, if we're talking like Yahtzee or King of Tokyo, Yahtzee is taking it, right?
Yahtzee, yeah,
It's
yeah.
simpler. So we're definitely gonna have to bring this down to the tie breaking bracket. So,
And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm writing code names in People's Choice because,
yep,
yeah, just
Codenames
one
is
only
people
has
choice.
one vote. So,
Right. And let's talk about theme. So the theme of Codenames is that you are each spies on your team. You're trying to find the other informants on your team by giving
I'm
their
going to go
code
ahead and
names.
give code names the theme aspect of it, just for the simple fact that it's not really a themed game. Yeah, you're spies, but it just can be reskinned. And see, this is the knock against code names is that it could be uh, rethemed as anything and still works, and
Right.
that's the problem with it. It's just a skin.
Yeah.
Your 31 flavors, I guess you can say that you want on it, because it's got pretty much everything I can think of. It's got Marvel, it's got Disney, it's got Simpsons, it's got
Harry Potter.
Disney,
It
Harry
has an
Potter.
adult version, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, there's an adult version.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it called? Code Names at Night or something like that.
After
Code Names
Dark or
After Dark.
something. Yeah.
I'm not surprised if they don't get a Star Wars version
Mm-hmm.
or just all these different versions. And so it's theme wise, I guess you can give it to it, but they're both very themeless games.
Yeah, they're both incredibly themeless. It's just that does technically have a reason for what you're doing it. So we'll give it to that. Player count. I think they're about the same. Um,
They're pretty much the
just
same. I
one is three
think
to seven, 4 to 8
but
for code names. So
recommendation is 3 to 7 for just one, but honestly, you can play more than that. It's just a
yeah,
recommendation, really.
and then
It's
same
just
thing with
because
code
it becomes
names.
simpler as you get more clues, but it
Yeah,
can also become harder as more clues are getting eliminated.
right. And then with code names, it's 4 to 8 as the base game, which is the same span. But then it can also go down to 2 with duet.
Yeah, so
So
I think it's a push on player count.
that's correct. And as as far as the art goes, they both don't have art.
Yeah, so with this one. I know we've talked about theme, how it could be reskinned, and we give it to codenames. With art and production, I'm just going to go off the base game, and both of them are just words. It's all it is. Because
Right,
that was our argument with Dixon. We were going off the base game,
right.
so let's just go off regular codenames. They're both just words.
Yeah, they're both just
I
words.
think
And then
there's a little bit more artwork
yeah, you have
in
art
regular
in the
codenames just because of
tiles.
the stuff that goes on it. But
Sure. But
honestly,
then
you can make your own artwork. But the production value, however, in just one is amazing when it gives you those dry erase markers. It gives you the dry
right.
erase boards, which also the card can actually stand in.
Mhm. Yep.
So
So I
production wise, I would give to
just
just one
one.
over.
But the art is better in that, so we're gonna have to count it as a wash.
Yeah, so it's
So
another.
that's a tie. Um Accessibility, we did touch base on this already. We gotta give
I
it to
think
just one.
just one.
Yep.
In mechanism, I honestly, personally think just one has the better mechanism, just because it's so simple. It's one word clues, or you choose one word
Right.
clue. It's real simple, but it goes down so well. Where this one is like you're trying to get one word clues, you're trying to be vague, you're not trying to be vague, giving them the same amount, but there's different things that can line to it.
Yeah.
Just one mechanism wise is easier for people to understand than it is codenames.
Which is better for a party setting.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think Codenames, the mechanisms in that are brilliant because of the assassin tile, because of the fact that each are split in teams, and then the innocent bystanders. I think it's a smarter game. But if we're looking for what would be better in a party setting, the simpler is probably the better. So we're gonna give that to just one. which means that once again we are at a tie.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we're at a tie.
Yeah, 4 and
So
4
Bryce,
each.
we'll let you be tiebreaker. Just one or Codenames?
No, well, hold on. We agreed on the people's choice being the tiebreaker, and as much as I do value Bryce's opinion, we already know what he's gonna pick. Versus
exactly, that's why it's just one.
no, we gotta go tiebreaker. I mean, 7-1 vote. It just
Yeah.
has just one vote. We gotta give it to
Honestly,
Codenames.
To be truthfully honest here, I don't agree with this one. I don't think Codenames is the better party game, honestly. To me, it is outside of Dixit, or outside of the Resistance, actually, one of my least favorite on this bracket, and even though it's number one.
Right.
I like Codenames. Great game. But I agree with Bryce. Just one is the better game, honestly. And I think the reason why Just One is not getting the love on the site, and I bet you if we put it on other sites, it'd probably be a different story. It's just because it's more of the newer game. Codenames, there's so many variants, so everybody has their own personal copy of Codenames. Where Just One, for a while, was hard to get in America.
Yeah. Yeah, it just recently came in here. And I think it will definitely gain traction. I think it's going to build itself up. But, I mean, just the fact of the widespread accessibility of Codenames, and that they're almost the same game, and that they're both really solid games, and it's hard to argue. I think we just do have to give it, in all fairness, to Codenames because of that. I really do. We can respectfully disagree, but, I mean, if we're like last week when we went over, what was the winner of last week? It was
a tie. Last week actually pushed it into a tie because Gloomhaven was actually winning, but we gave the People's Choice point to Pandemic Legacy, which would have put it into a tie. Gloomhaven won 4-3, but People's Choice made it 4-4.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and then People's Choice. Yeah. See, I mean, honestly, I personally would have rather had Pandemic Legacy win on that, and so, I mean, you can't be not bitter.
But you made the rule that it was the tiebreaker. There was no tie at that time.
No.
They were like, well, we'll just give the People's Choice here, and they made it 4-4.
Okay. Yeah. No. So really, we can redact it. We can go back to last week, and we can declare the better campaign game is Gloomhaven, and that's fine. I don't disagree with that because it really does boil down to the People's Choice, and that's it, because you and I each have our own biases. We agree with that. If we get a lot of people voting, even if we include Bryce's vote for Just One, it's still Codenames. We have to give it to that.
It'd be 7-5 with Bryce's vote.
Yep. No, 7-2.
Oh, 7-2, yeah, because Just One. I was thinking Mysterium for some reason.
Just One had just one vote. Which is amazing, by the way.
On it, but I kind of keep myself from voting in these polls because I'm already going to be arguing the points.
Right, exactly, and that's fine. And so when it comes down to a tiebreaker like this, we got to do it to the People's Choice. Only if they had a tie.
What we should do now, for just future references, is we should keep R5, the theme, the mechanism, the access, the art and production, and the player count. Well, in this case, the access we could keep, and the player count could change out depending whatever our thing is. This way we have 5. If somehow it ends up being a tie, that's when the People's Choice breaks the tie.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
We should just make the People's Choice. Instead of it giving it a weight, we should just make it the tiebreaker.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. We will work that out here in the details here in a bit. So there you go. You have it. Your number one party game, chosen by us and the people, is Codenames.
No. Not chosen by us.
Okay.
Debated by us, chosen by you.
Chosen by you. Yeah, debated by us, chosen by you. That's a good slogan. We need to keep that. I like that a lot. Debated by us, chosen by you. I like that. So, on the next stream, we don't have anything specific yet that we're going to plan for the next week. I don't think yet. So we are going to finish up this podcast for today. We're already like an hour and a half in. So thank you so much for everybody for joining. This has been Everyday Board Games with Daniel and
Daniel.
And we appreciate you joining in. Next week we'll let you know what we're going to be debating. If you are on our stream right now and watching us live, hang out with us for a little bit more, because then we're going to pick your brain and choose what topic we're going to be picking next week, and we'll get the brackets very shortly. So, thanks for tuning in, and you guys have a great one.
Bye.